We're gonna put you on mute for a little bit, but Joe, play that clip.
Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. From winning, from talent, from everything. When people talk about Aaron Rodgers, they talk about him just because he only has one Super Bowl appearance. Like the other stuff he accomplished don't matter.
That part.
Like for me, like the man is a 4-time MVP, a Super Bowl MVP. Like, what are we talking about? And then when you go to the talent of the quarterback spot, like for me, I look at this quarterback stuff different. Yes, Super Bowls matter, but it's not the only thing that matters to me because I believe Dan Marino should be at that table too because I don't think none of them quarterbacks is like Dan neither, and Dan don't have a Super Bowl ring. I go off of the talent of the quarterback and I don't forget what you accomplished. And it might not necessarily be all Super Bowls, but the other things you accomplished. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback, in my humble opinion, especially when you talk about talent and the overall position of the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely special, and he's sitting at them table with them boys. And to be honest with you, if he gets 2 rings, they should be at another table. It should be Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady because when you put talent on top of skill and on top of winning, Joe Montana ain't Aaron Rodgers, man. I love Joe Montana. I grew up in the Bay Area. He's not Joe Montana. Now we talking about the Patties, we talking about the Aarons, we talking about the Bradys. Other than that, I don't think a lot of those dudes, especially when you put the whole package together, can sit at the table with Aaron Rodgers. And I understand everybody want to go straight to the Super Bowl rings. Man, I understand that. But don't forget what Aaron Rodgers has done for this game and the things he's accomplished, man, even if it's only one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I know that's bad for Ed, but we really just gotta let that one sizzle on your spirit. You know, like there was one segment, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure I heard this right. He said skill on top of talent on top of winning makes him better than who? Joe Montana?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Like, wait. Skill? A little bit of talent? Once he said winning, I kind of was like, wait, whoa. You talking about one Super? Just go back to my Troy Aikman situation. Carl, I'm glad you showed up because here we go again with people start throwing Aaron Rodgers' name out there with some of these legends, and it's like, are we talking winning or are we talking about pure quarterback? That's 2 separate conversations. Dave, I see Dave about to be like, you know what really grinds my gears or really scuffs my New Balances? It's when people just throw Joe Montana name out there, you know?
That's my New Balance.
See you thinking, man. Ooh, I knew that Joe Montana was gonna get you. Shouldn't even be at the table. Like at the table?
You've got to be freaking kidding me. Joe Montana doesn't deserve to be at the table if Aaron Rodgers wins just his 2nd Super Bowl. Did we forget that Joe Montana is 4-0 in the Super Bowl? That he's never thrown an interception, let alone had a turnover in the Super Bowl? And he's a 3-time Super Bowl MVP. He also is 3rd all-time in passing completions. He has thrown for over 40,000 yards. He has 8 Pro Bowls and 15 seasons. That Joe Montana, the Joe Montana that has 9 division titles, that Joe Montana. See, if we're talking about skill, that's one thing. I think we know the talent that Aaron Rodgers has when it comes to footwork, accuracy, the way he's able to throw the ball when he's moving around the field. I know that he is one of the greatest talents we've ever seen in the NFL. But to say that Joe Montana does not deserve to be at the table with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers has 4 regular season MVPs and only 1 Super Bowl appearance. But the fact that if he gets to a 2nd Super Bowl, Joe Montana is no longer at the table. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know what football he was watching, but that does not make sense to say that Joe Montana, a guy who's been the best guy outside of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, to be one of the best in the Super Bowl when it matters the most. Does it matter more to have a regular season MVP, or does it matter more to have 3 Super Bowl MVPs?
Troy.
That's all I want to know. Joe Montana has done everything he needed to do. And then when he left San Francisco, he led the Kansas City Chiefs to the playoffs right after that. And he didn't have a Jerry Rice or a John Taylor on that team or Dwight Clark. He didn't have a Roger Craig in that backfield with Kansas City. What matters more, winning in the playoffs or winning in the regular season? Because I don't remember the last time Aaron Rodgers had a great playoff run, other than that last time when he went to the Super Bowl. He has won Super Bowl appearance for a reason. His defense hasn't been good, but he also hasn't been great either. He's folded in the games where he should have won. Do I need to remind you of the 3 times he's played San Francisco in the playoffs and he lost all 3 times?
Not like that.
So miss me with that. That's all I'm gonna say. Miss me with that. That's ridiculous to say that Joe Montana does not deserve to be at the table. That's just stupid.
All right, I'll go. So look, y'all, quick story. When I was in high school, or whatever years when Aaron Rodgers first came about, right after high school,
It's like a little bit after high school. Yeah.
I was a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I remember when he first started in that first year and he finished the season, I was like, I like this dude. He got some promise. And then next year, he had like 4,000 yards, like 28 touchdowns, something like that. And then me and my friend Ron, shout out to my man Ronald, big Cowboy fan. I'm like, bro, he's better than Tony Romo. No, he's not. That was I've been like, bro, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tony Romo. Aaron Rodgers is not. Aaron Rodgers, I will never forget when they played the Arizona Cardinals. And they scored on every single drive. There was no stops for it. Like no turnover on downs, no punts for real. And Aaron Rodgers was making it work. Like the Arizona Cardinals, brother, he was wide open. Kurt Warner was slicing them up. And Aaron Rodgers was running for his life, making him plays. And they lost because he got face masks and he fumbled. Should have won that game. But then the next year after that, won a Super Bowl. Great year. Beat the Eagles, Michael Vick. You know what I mean? Beat the Atlanta Falcons, #1 seed. Then it went and beat the Chicago Bears, even though he didn't play well in Chicago. J. Cole is riding a bicycle. And then tore up the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, top of the world. Talented quarterback, MVP, Super Bowl. Man. And then he turns around. I think he won the MVP after he won the Super Bowl and got the #1 seed. And what happened, Dave? Lost in the first round to the Giants.
Sure did.
What happened after that? Oh, yeah, after that, okay. He beat Minnesota. Who was the quarterback? I don't even remember. And then lost to the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Then go to playoffs again. Lose to the 49ers. Playoffs again. Is this when you come in, Tomo?
Go ahead. If you just tuning in, y'all, I know who y'all think he's talking about, but it ain't him.
Right? He beat Dallas. Right? It was a catch, right?
He wasn't supposed to beat him.
He beat Dallas, but no offense, Tomo, but Dallas is known for not doing nothing in the playoffs. And lost to Seattle, and he was terrible. They were up, and Seattle got 2 scores in the last like 4 minutes. Granted, they did get an onside kick, but Aaron Rodgers was horrible. He threw for 55% that game. I remember that game. It was cold, but hey, that's when you shine the best, right? Everybody comes to the Green Bay, right? When it's cold. He was terrible. What's crying in the post game? You said what?
He wasn't supposed to beat it. That's why.
So, and I can go on and on. Next year, beat Washington. Whoop-de-doo, beat Kirk Cousins. And then lost again. Who is right here? I don't know who this is. He lost somebody, all right? Lost again and threw 54%. Beat the Giants, beat Dallas again, lose to the Falcons.
That was another game, Joe. Oh my God.
They beat y'all twice. That pass, he threw that on the sideline. That pass he threw was crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie. But my whole thing is this.
Go ahead, Joe.
And then the what put the icing on the cake for me with Aaron Rodgers is this, y'all. Tom Brady leaves the Patriots and goes to Tampa Bay. That's what they call it. He rose up in your stadium and beat you. He outplayed you in your own stadium. And then in the second half, Tom Brady was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And they still beat y'all. Like, you had the opportunity to score. You threw to Devontae Adams 3 times in a row, and your coach didn't even trust you enough to go for it. Get the field goal. So and then how you ended your last year with Green Bay? See, this is my problem with Aaron Jones. It's not about your. Who cares about your
James
talent?
Jones.
James Jones. Let me ask you a question. Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow?
Herbert.
Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts?
Herbert.
Yeah, think about it. Who's more
I was still
talented?
thinking about Burrow.
Who's more talented, Justin Herbert or Dak Prescott?
Dak.
Herbert.
Dak.
Come on, Tom.
Come on.
Would you put
what do you
Justin
mean?
Herbert?
Hold on. Now, what do you mean by talent?
I think he's talking about arm talent. He's not talking about. He's talking about arm talent.
Justin Herbert.
Arm talent? Yeah, it's Herbert. Yeah,
it's Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and then probably Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is talented. He's very talented.
Allen?
No, Mahomes and Rodgers.
You talking about
probably Justin Herbert.
But Tomo, see, the same reason why you stopped is the same reason why I stopped. Because when he's talking about Jalen Hurts, because I'm like, Jalen Hurts can run and he can throw. Yeah. So that's why
I'm talking about talent.
But I know he's talking about
throwing
quarterback
throwing the ball, throwing the football,
throwing the ball. Yeah, Herbert.
Herbert.
I don't know. Dak threw like 90% of accuracy last year. I'm just saying though, Herbert had Kellen Moore. Go ahead.
Herbert also had broken ribs.
Dak had a broken throwing. Look, don't let me do this, man. This ain't about that. It's about Aaron Rodgers, man.
But my whole point is, you wouldn't rank Herbert above none of them dudes because it's not about your talent. What are you doing with it?
Exactly.
If Aaron Rodgers is so talented, why is he not winning Super Bowls? Like, why? Why is he not winning Super Bowls? And we got to stop saying it's a team stat because there are moments when Aaron Rodgers has opportunities to win these playoff games, and he's not.
Exactly.
It's not like the Cardinals game I talked to y'all about when they were scoring every drive. That's not the case. The case is Aaron Rodgers' numbers drop in the playoffs. It does. It's a fact. So Aaron Rodgers is not at the table. The table is Tom Brady. Then it's Joe Montana. And then it's everybody else. You said what?
Mahomes getting his invite.
I say it's Brady, Montana, and Mahomes.
And Mahomes, sorry, Mahomes. It's just those three right now. I'm sorry. It's those three. And after that, it's Peyton Manning. He above Aaron Rodgers. So let's get that straight. And I will say John Elway too. You talking about talent? John Elway was talented too. Now he's not as talented as Aaron Rodgers, but you get what I'm saying. And he was losing, and then he finally won. He got his rings.
That's why I said when you said talent, skill, you got an argument there. Once you said winning,
I mean that cut it off.
I was like, you lost me, bro. You can't say that.
Cut it off for me. That's why I went crazy about Joe Montana. Like Joe Montana, he's one of the most winningest quarterbacks in the NFL history. And you're saying that he don't deserve to be at the table if Aaron Rodgers gets number 2 when Montana has 4 and he's never lost in the Super Bowl, or had a turnover in the Super Bowl, and then he left with the Kansas City and took this.
They almost took them to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I got hyped now.
Nah, that was worthy. I told y'all once I heard, because remember when I came into the studio, I was like, as he kept talking, I was like, that got to be James Jones, because he just kept saying Aaron Rodgers. Then he said, seat at the table. I said, wait a minute. I understand that's your quarterback, but again, if we talking pure quarterback, you have a debate. When you bring in winning,
and then you see who he had. Then you see who he had defending themselves on that part. Boy, shut up.
Here's the thing, though. Patrick Mahomes is talented also. Why is Mahomes winning and he's not? Because Mahomes make the plays in the playoffs. Like when you watch the Bills game, Mahomes made plays. You watch the Ravens game, Mahomes made plays. In the Super Bowl against y'all, Dave, Mahomes made plays. It's not about your talent, bro. It's about your poise. How do you execute in a great moment? And Aaron Rodgers don't do it. Absolutely. If y'all go back and watch that Bears game when he won his first Super Bowl, he wasn't good. The defense won that game.
Some people say, what's his name? Jay Cutler. They say if he didn't get hurt, they lose that game.
Exactly. Bro, he was bad. He wasn't good that game. No. It was cold that game too. But he did lit the Eagles up. He did lit he killed Dave. You know, Darren, coach son. You know, Darren's is a Packer fan. Daryl's a Falcon fan. We watched it together. Daryl was Daryl even getting mad. like, bro, he was lighting the Falcons up, man. But and then he whooped the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm giving that because you're not gonna have all good games to play. I give you that. But bro, when they lose, bro, he can do more. Except for that only time I would say he couldn't do more after the Super Bowl is when they played y'all, Dave, and y'all ran the ball. Y'all threw the ball only 8 times. It was nothing he can do that game, bro.
Yeah, because it was nothing he could do that game. Nothing he could do that game.
When that, yeah, I go. We got
What?
go. But when the Rams ran for 400 yards on Dak, you act like he ain't play good.
I no. I didn't put it on Dak though.
No, I'm just saying.
I
I'm
ain't
talking
put
about
on
because
Dak.
we on air. I had to throw that out there for them people. For them Hurts fans that keep going back and forth on these comments, man. Leave it alone.
I mean,
There's
we
two
did.
separate
I
ways
mean, we
to
did.
judge
We did
quarterbacks.
have Jimmy Garoppolo. We had no choice but to only throw the ball 8 times. So
Man, and y'all blew him out too. It was like 35-8, something like that.
Yeah, nah, he killed
35-13.
Is that the
crazy.
game where he was like, I love coming to Green Bay, or he said F Green Bay or something like that?
Who? Jimmy
G? After he won.
I don't
It was
know.
one of them games in the snow after they won, he went off.
That was
Oh
probably
no, that's
when-
different. That was different. That was Tyler Hufanga had got. That was that wasn't a blowout. That wasn't a blowout.
Oh, wow.
That was.
Was that
Oh
the
yeah,
game
that
when,
was a game winning
that's a game with the
interception.
Super Bowl, right? No, that's a game we got lost to the Rams. That season, y'all beat Green Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
Dude dropped the Robin pick.
Yeah, and then the Rams. Yeah, I remember. I was in the bar when that happened. That's the one time I was rooting for y'all. I
was y'all. Nah, I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl that year, so I was y'all like rooting against y'all. I picked the Rams and the Chiefs, bro.
Yeah, I ain't like the super team. I ain't like the super team. I wanted the Rams to lose.
Joe, I thought we was brothers.
But it was my preseason pick. I picked the Rams and Chiefs, and Mahomes folded against the Bengals. See, look, Mahomes against the Bengals, y'all. He folded, and then what did he do the next year? I'm back to Super Bowl. Nothing to do about it being 3 in a row, bro.
So you can't fold in a playoff. So you can't fold in the playoffs and make it back to the Super Bowl, right?
I mean, LeBron did it, right?
I'm just asking for another quarterback.
I know a guy who never did it though.
Oh.
Shout out to Shannon Shark. Your goat would never.
Nah, that was very interesting. I know James Jones. I know them comments on that one gonna go up. A lot of people gonna be in there because again, when you think of Aaron Rodgers, you think of the run that Joe was saying before the playoffs. Like a lot of people talk about that. It's just like, hey, he's played more games after that.
That was 2011.
Exactly.
Bro, 13 years ago, bro.
Exactly. That's a long time ago.
I had 4 kids since then. Ain't got married.
Hey,
I'm posting a 10-year anniversary since you last been to Super Bowl, bro. Like, come on.
That's the last time a Super Bowl was won in Dallas.
Man, I don't even talk about us.
Cool. Nah, I was just talking about in the stadium. We couldn't even make it.
You talking about the stadium? He ain't talking about the making it. He talking about
The one he won was in Dallas. That's why it's always a curse. He beat us in Dallas. Mike McCarthy got his one Super Bowl there. Like it's just all. Why you think he can win so much at home? That's why the Cowboys is good at home. Mike McCarthy know how to win there.
The Super Bowl was in Dallas.
Yes.
When the next time gonna be at Dallas, I'm gonna put my ticket in for Aaron Rodgers to win the Super Bowl.
He might not be playing by then.